This week on the Socratic Cinema podcast, dock some points off this movie though. Just it's purely a technicality. It did have somebody flossing in it, so my hands are kind of tied.
There are the people that were like, "Hey, this actually sucks."
Rain on Me, the worst goddamn song of all time.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Socratic Cinema podcast, the most famous and successful movie podcast available. My name is James Felicio.
I'm Kasey Clark.
I'm Charlie Heatherly, and that's not true.
You have tuned into the right place. It is a lovely day in Southern California. The sun is shining. It's way too hot, and school is right around the corner. And you know,
We're in school already. What are you talking about?
you know what I'm always reminded of as summer comes to a close and school is right around the corner?
What?
What, James?
I cannot help but think of the 104 days of summer vacation that my dearest friends Phineas and Ferb, Flynn Fletcher, made the most of on the hit TV
Yes.
show Phineas and Ferb that played on Disney XD.
Oh, memories, dude.
Show of my childhood.
Yep,
Just-
100%.
That was the show. I remember one time when I was sick, I just whenever I was sick, I would just binge watch Phineas and Ferb. I don't know why it was so enjoyable to me. Probably because it's a stand-up show, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really just top tier. And that, dear viewers, is why today on the Socratic Cinema podcast, home of scholars and gentlemen and gentle ladies, we are talking about the new comeback Phineas and Ferb movie, Phineas and Ferb Candace Against the Universe.
Yes.
A Disney Plus exclusive that released on August 28th of year of our Lord 2020. Let's talk about this. How do we feel about this movie? Charlie, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So, usually when you get these sort of Disney Plus movies that are like straight to streaming or DVD, they suck. Totally not the case here. This movie is like actually insanely good. Like, it was super funny. I laughed out loud like 3 or 4 or 5 times watching this.
Oh yeah.
The jokes always land to me. I thought that the plot, although incredibly crazy, it all made sense to me as a fan of Phineas and Ferb, and the way that they just sort of throw out logic and make you just come along for this really fun ride was really refreshing to me. And honestly, I think that it rivals Prince of Egypt in terms of enjoyability, but in a different way. Where Prince of Egypt was something that was very cinematically incredible, this movie just made me feel good, and it made me have a good time, which is exactly what you need during quarantine. So if you haven't seen it, please go see it right now. It's on Disney Plus. You have no excuse not to. It's only an hour and a half, and yeah, absolutely phenomenal movie. I loved it.
Very well said. Very well said. I agree wholeheartedly. Kasey, what about you? What did you think?
Really liked it. I feel like everyone else here, I was an avid watcher of Phineas and Ferb. I've seen all their movies, and I would say the best one by far would be like the 3D one, but I feel like Candace Against the Universe definitely like gives that one a run for its money, especially after the show has been ended for a decent amount of years, which makes me feel low-key old, but it's fine.
Mhm.
Um, but this is just pure quintessential Phineas and Ferb. You know, like you could even watch this like split into multi-part episodes. It just brings me back to like I could watch this on a Saturday in middle school and be like, yes, let's watch Phineas and Ferb, Candace Against the Universe. I'm hyped. The humor is amazing. I love how they really just hammer home the self-awareness of the characters,
Oh
which
yeah.
is super funny to me. But yeah, I really liked it. I was sad that some of the songs weren't as like in comparison to other songs that have come up in like the Phineas and Ferb run. They weren't as iconic, I guess, but like I could still get behind them.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. I like you both. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It was very just enjoyable. Hour and a half. It was entertaining, like Charlie said. I was never bored by it. I think the humor really did land as well. I think it worked a little bit better when the movie kind of leaned into the more fourth wall breaky, self-aware humor than the more straight up kids movie humor. But overall it was actually funny. It got some hearty nose exhales from me. Yeah, I was a big fan. I think Casey's kind of on it about the songs. They weren't bad by any stretch, but just we've had so many bangers come from the Phineas and Ferb discography that I was
True.
just expecting maybe a little bit more in the musical department. I do have to off the bat dock some points off this movie though, and just it's purely a technicality. It did have somebody flossing in it, so just my hands are kind of tied, but that I do have to deduct some points just for that. But um, other than that, yeah, really great. A little sad Meep wasn't in it, even especially considering the whole alien setting. I felt like this was perfect for some Meep content, but
Yes.
Mhm.
whatever. It's fine. I'm not gonna die on that hill. Maybe Meep didn't need to come back.
I feel like Meep might be one of those childhood characters where you thought he was really funny back when he was first introduced, but like looking back, literally all the thing does is say Meep in an annoying voice.
Are you kidding, man? That's comedy. That's what sells. Like
Is that the
Meep
peak of comedy for you?
Meep is like the Phineas and Ferb version of the Minions, and we've seen how well the Minions have done.
I'm shocked at this turn in argumentation. You're supporting the minions now vicariously through Meep.
From a marketing standpoint.
Ah, sure, sure, sure. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I guess it probably sold a lot of toys. But yeah, I thought this movie. Well, you guys said you didn't like the songs. I personally will agree with you that I didn't think the songs were as iconic as a lot of the other Phineas and Ferb songs. Obviously, we have some bangers that you can still remember to this day. AGLET, Aglet, don't forget it. Uh,
Period.
We will never forget
Anything
it.
from Love Handle, fantastic. And yeah, like I think that the songs in this movie were not as memorable, but every time one was being sung, I was thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, I would just listen to it and bop my head along and have a good time. I liked the adulting song with Doofenshmirtz.
Yes.
I
That was
thought
a
that
good
one
one.
was interesting. And I also enjoyed a lot of the kitty humor. It might have been nostalgia, but when Perry was like doing all the stuff with the asteroids, trying to stop it from hitting the ship, I was like laughing at just the fact that these kids are incredibly stupid and their platypus is what's saving them all the time by literally slinging rocks into giant space rocks into one another to, stop a giant vacuum opening up within their ship. But yeah, I think that even when the humor didn't hit the fourth wall breaky stuff, which I will agree is like the peak of the humor in the movie. Like my favorite part is when they did the Dan Povenmire and Swampy Marsh when they're like pitching the movie to the people, and you get to
Mhm.
see that bit where it gets like
Mm.
super meta.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I thought that stuff was good. I also thought, whenever Phineas and Ferb would say the thing, 6 times fast, I thought that was funny too. I think they handled an annoying type of joke pretty well.
See
So all
that
around, the control was good for me.
I see that the repeating 5 times or whatever joke, that's like the one, I guess, example of the kiddie humor that didn't work for me.
Mhm.
That's just not my shtick. I did think it was funny though that you can very very clearly hear that they like just had the voice actors say it once or twice
Yeah.
and then just kind of copy paste because you could hear it like loop over in the movie. That's all I could think of when I heard those jokes. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, the songs weren't bad. I also really liked the Alien kind of big band song, the one that has the flossing in it. Yeah, but I thought that song was good too. I kind of forgot how it goes, but I remember enjoying it at the time.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you think about the music? If we're gonna talk about the music here, Casey, why don't you weigh in on that for us?
Okay, so in my personal opinion, I felt like the first half was very song heavy.
It definitely was. I got a little
Sure.
song fatigue.
Yeah, I was definitely not really feeling that, mostly because it kind of takes away from like it's already a very like crowded plot, like a lot's happening at the same time. And we're jumping to Vanessa, we're jumping to Doofenshmirtz and the kids, and we're also with Candace and her montages. And then it's like four different songs. And it's just a lot to pay attention to. And especially if the songs aren't like bops too. It's very
Sure.
I don't know. It just kind of takes away from it. I did like the big band, like the opening when they're like trying to
The
open the
opening the door
door.
song, yeah.
And
Mhm.
then it was kind of like, oh, anticlimactic, but it was like funny. And I was like, all right, I can get behind this. Like that's the self-awareness that was like, yes, vibes. Um, but I think, I honestly I feel like the problem too is that I can't remember any of the songs like explicitly. And like
Mhm.
that's
I
very
Yeah.
telling.
That's a really good point, actually. Like your goal when you're writing songs for this sort of thing is to have it stick in your head and be memorable. You want your audience to be able to remember the song and have it stuck in their head. And the only song that does that for me in this is the adulting thing. Um, any other song I don't really remember except for that adulting one. And I think that was a really good sequence. I loved Doofenshmirtz and especially how he kind of played off of the
Yes.
super smart kids like Isabella and
Mhm.
Baljeet. I mean, that's a dynamic that's as old as time, incompetent adult meets really smart kids. But I mean, it's as old as time. I always say that stereotypes or cliches are cliches for a reason, and it's because they work when you do it well. So I really was a big fan of Doofenshmirtz in this movie, and especially his dynamic with the kids. I think Doofenshmirtz was one of the strongest performances in the movie. Dan
Mhm.
Hovenmeyer, what a gem.
I was really scared when you're like, "Well, stereotypes." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa."
I
But
mean, cliches. I mean, aren't cliches just movie stereotypes?
it's true, and no, I totally agree with you. I think that people that are like, "Well, that's a cliche, so it's bad." That's just stupid. You can totally do cliches well, and you have a great point when you're saying, like, cliches are cliches for a reason. That's very true. And this movie is, filled with a bunch of, fun little cliches, but I feel like where they can, they're able to flip the script or make a joke about it or something like that. Well, and for jokes which are not entirely original, like the door bit, I've probably seen like 3 or 4 times different kid shows. It's still funny to me. It still lands incredibly well, and I think for the most part the polish is there, but there were definitely some points where the animation was noticeably lacking.
Yeah,
Uh,
it,
the
it
main
felt
point,
different
yeah,
than the
it felt.
show.
I couldn't quite like pin it, but like what first triggered me to it was when she or Candace gets back from her bicycling song in the very beginning, and
Mhm.
the robot turns to lint, and then they're all sort of just like sitting in the lint, but they're all still in the background, like they're just not moving. It's like they took cutouts of the characters and just like pasted them
Yeah,
there.
and I mean, doing stills like that is generally kind of a thing you do in animation to save time and money, but especially in something like a movie where you have a bigger budget, I feel like you maybe have a little bit more freedom to not do stills so much. But
Sure.
yeah, like it's a money saving technique that is used when there's stuff in the background. You just kind of don't animate it because you hope no one will notice. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, but I agree with you. I think especially on something like a movie, just a little bit more into the animation probably wouldn't have hurt. I don't know. What do you think, Casey?
I remember seeing something on film Twitter. I think it was a while ago, like maybe mid quarantine, where something like got I guess leaked from the movie and people
Mm,
were just completely bagging on the animation. I believe it was the specific scene where they're like the ending scene where they're all doing like the final song and Candace and the kids are like walking through downtown.
mhm.
And there was a lot of like discrepancies with building colors and
Oh,
people not looking like people
I didn't
and
even
just
notice.
like very I believe like they fixed it. Like a lot of people like we're going back and forth. There are the people that were like, "Hey, this actually sucks," and then
Hmm,
the other people who were like, the movie's not finished yet, so maybe you can like cool it." And I feel like I was definitely paying attention, and the building was no longer purple, or no longer
that's
look
good.
incredibly like fake. But I definitely, especially in the opening few scenes or the opening like 30 minutes, like, there's definitely a difference in the animation style, and I don't know if it's because of the difference in technology, I guess. I didn't watch enough of Milo Murphy's Law to kind of compare if it's more similar to Milo's to that. animation or to the original content. I'm pretty sure it's probably they did the best that they could to kind of mix both, but it definitely was a bit jarring at some points.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like we might be making it sound a little bit atrocious or something. It's not that noticeable. It's noticeable enough that you can be like, "Oh, this feels kind of different," but that's about it, really. I wanted to talk about because Charlie mentioned something about the plot. It's not like I think we need to make it kind of clear, or I guess I want to make it clear that my the praise of this movie comes not from it being like a super complicated or original plot. Like it's fairly straightforward and fairly, I don't want to say derivative because that sounds bad, but it's not like they didn't reinvent the wheel or anything, and they didn't need to. I think this movie's strength comes not from its originality as it comes from kind of the polish and execution, like Charlie was saying. Um,
Yeah.
and I just kind of wanted to hammer that home. I do want to say though, mega props to this movie for pacing. I think it does pacing incredibly well. It wastes no time. I took note of when Candace was in space, when she got sent to space, because that's kind of the whole plot hook. She's in the alien spaceship by 11 minutes in,
Mm-hmm.
which
No,
is
Yeah.
the movie's
so nice.
efficient.
It's
The
so
mo-
efficient.
it's something that's really refreshing to see from a kids movie of all places. This movie does pacing in a way that some big budget shows need to start taking notice of. There was not a single moment in it where I was like, "Oh, that's filler. They're just trying to pad out the plot to get, an hour and a half in."
Mhm.
Every single plot detail, every single thing that happened and was shown on screen, I felt like needed to be there for the story to take place. And although
Yeah.
the story was incredibly fast paced and it did bounce around a lot, I enjoyed that. I thought the fact that they managed to make this grand space adventure, reference to the movie, sort of fit within this nice, hour and a half bow. It was energetic to see. It felt like I was watching a movie that knew exactly what it wanted to do and it knew exactly which jokes it wanted to hit, and it just perfectly strung along those jokes in a plot that, more or less combined everything together, which is another great thing about Phineas and Ferb plots. They don't have to make sense. They can be ridiculous and silly. They can be about a plant that will mind control people if it's fed with carbon dioxide. Like it was ridiculous, but it was lovely. And that's what I like about Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, like suspension of disbelief is kind of the easiest possible thing to do in Phineas and Ferb. I feel, especially if you've watched the show, you're just desensitized to like
100%.
anything they could possibly pull. Like none of it. This show is set in real life, quote unquote, but yet them being in this weird alien world with giant orange dragon monster things, like none of it feels weird. It's just kind of like, yeah, this is Phineas and Ferb. This feels right to me. It feels like Phineas and Ferb content, which is probably the best you can do when you're trying to make like a comeback movie like this.
Is it a comeback movie though? What's the
I
plan with the franchise? Does anyone know?
I think they might have just been trying to like play off of some Disney Plus hype. Like everything was kind of getting a Disney Plus original, and it feels like I guess Phineas and Ferb can get one too. That's just my. I don't know if there's any official word on a comeback or not, but I would
Maybe.
love to see one. But as
I
far as
think
yeah, go ahead.
I think it's probably mostly they're doing a nostalgia bomb, and they
Maybe
know
yeah.
that this generation is big on Phineas and Ferb because they grew up with it, and you could
Mhm.
see this in things like Dan Povenmire's TikTok, which I love.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of a good point. And that they've been doing A1 marketing.
Mhm.
That's something interesting that this movie does really well is marketing. Um, Pretty much every single I want to say like I saw a lot of ads for this movie, but they weren't traditional advertisements. They were just content from Dan Povenmire's TikTok. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it got me excited for the movie. Like it kept reminding me that, oh hey, wait, Phineas and Ferb. This is a thing, and this creator is really cool. I would like to watch the movie now. Um, this is like social media advertising done right, and not like
Yes.
because there's a lot of really bad corporate social media attempts, but not here, man.
Facts.
Phineas and Ferb got it right, so that's
Dan
another really
Povenmire
interesting thing. Yeah,
slays it.
he
Well, no,
does.
it's a great case study, I feel like, for marketing because of all the reasons you laid out. I mean, I didn't see an official ad for this, and I still recommended it to you guys to watch for this podcast.
Right, this was Charlie's idea, by the way.
It was my idea. but
It
somehow
was.
I'm the one that watched it only like, what time is it now? 4 hours before the podcast happened.
I mean, I
I'm
watched it yesterday. You're not crazy late.
I'm a busy guy. What can I say? They get on me about being late all the time, by the way, but that's a thing for another podcast.
Let the record state, Charlie was 8 minutes late to recording today.
I was busy toning my calves on a walk.
He was
Is that
walking his dog.
I wasn't even walking my dog. No, this was just a normal walk with the fam.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Real
Yeah, you can't make fun of me for
Alfred.
that. Yeah. I'm
All right.
bettering myself, James. Come on. What are we doing?
All right, go off. You know, we support that here.
It was the marketing of it, I think, is super interesting because it's not the type of movie that you can buy ad space for on TV. Like, no one is going to see that on TV and be like, finally, the Phineas and Ferb movie I've been waiting for.
I just
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to interject with something unrelated. 'Cause
They
that's what I do.
Same here, man. Same here. That's why we work so well. But they totally knew their audience. And this is a perfect example of knowing your audience and knowing who's going to watch your movie. They knew it and they targeted it like hell. They went straight on to TikTok. They're like, listen, Dan's getting big on here. Okay. We're just going to have him talk about the movie and get these other TikTok content creators. And then it's going to be this major thing. And from what I hear, it's actually doing really well on Disney Plus. Like, I think it was #1 watched when it first released over the weekend or something. I forgot when it first released. But
That's great.
But
Yeah.
totally interesting case study. And I wish that I knew more about the background of it or a little bit more about marketing so I can explain it better. But definitely a good lesson to know your audience, and especially know when they grow up so that you can drop that nostalgia bomb because it worked.
It's foolproof. Like they
Yeah.
they were like, all right, Gen Z is the Phineas and Ferb target audience back when it was on air. How old is Gen Z now? They're teens. What are teens using? Bam, teens are using TikTok. Dan Povenmire has a TikTok. Teens like Dan Povenmire because he created Phineas and Ferb and he's on TikTok. It all, and then they're like, okay, cool. It's so smart. Okay, I have a TikTok. Charlie, do you have a TikTok?
I mean, I have a TikTok. I don't post
do you
TikToks, though.
use it is what I mean.
Yes, I use
post
TikTok
that.
all the I love TikTok.
Casey, do you use TikTok?
I do not.
Blasphemy, get her out of here.
Okay, my point was not as impressive as I thought it was going to be, but 2 for 3 is still a majority. The majority of teens, it's by our study just now, the majority of teens use TikTok.
2 out of every 3 teenagers.
Because that's how statistics work. If it's a majority here, it's a majority everywhere.
Yep.
And that's so smart. That's just so genius. Charlie's right. This is the smartest movie campaigning ever. And you can put a Socratic stamp
That's
on
our
that.
title.
Bro, thank you so much for the clickbait. It really helps when I'm making these things.
Best movie marketing ever, and we put like a picture of Dan Povenmire, and he's like, "What?" Maybe that'll actually be the thumbnail. Who knows, guys?
That is true. We have control over that. Well,
YouTube
I'll do
viewers,
it. I have no
YouTube.
shame. 100%. I don't know, Casey. Did you ever see any ads for this, or wait? So do you not like have TikTok at all, or like what's the deal?
I don't have like the app,
Yeah.
but I do see TikTok content because it's like literally everywhere. It's on Instagram.
Cross-platform, yeah.
Yeah, cross-platform. I honestly don't know why I don't have the app. It's not like I'm anti it or anything. I just
okay. I see.
don't.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You hate the Chinese. It's whatever.
Yeah, because there are some people who like have this moral superiority about not liking popular things. It's like they don't like something that's popular and they think they're just so much better because of it. Like,
James thought I was uppity. This is what
this is just like a thing that's irked me for a while. It's like you remember when Fortnite was big, and Fortnite was fun for a while. Like, it was a good game for a while. But then there were those like handful of kids who were just like, you play Fortnite, a popular game? I only play not popular games. I'm better than you, is basically what they're trying to say. And it comes back to the whole cliches are cliche for a reason. I mean, popular things, the general rule of it is, at the end of the day, popular things are popular for a reason. They're doing something right. So it makes no sense to try and claim superiority by not doing that thing if it's worthy of popularity. I get very heated about this subject. I'm sorry.
Feed into consumerism.
Exactly. But
yes.
I want to object. I don't think popular things are popular, or at least not all popular things are popular for a reason. And I have a case in point that just happened recently.
Oh.
Now, I don't watch movie or sorry, not movie award shows, music award shows very much. I don't know which one just happened, whether it was the MTV.
VMAs.
Yeah, the VMAs. Do you know what won Song of the Year?
What one song of the year?
Lady
Rain on
Gaga,
Me.
Rain
Yeah.
on Me. The worst goddamn song of all time.
Wait, I haven't even heard that song, I don't think.
Play a 2-second clip of it right now.
Dude,
Okay.
I
At this
don't want to
moment.
risk it. I don't
So
want
we're
to.
not
No,
going to get
YouTube,
copyright struck.
YouTube copyright is vicious. They will find a
Fine.
way.
Fine.
I-
Everyone go
Okay.
listen to 2 seconds of Rain on Me to simulate us putting 2 seconds in here. It is so bad. It makes no sense. The lyrics have no path or reason. And it's the worst music video ever. It was all shot on an iPhone. I guess that's cool.
It was.
But yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Wait,
cliche in
I'm
all the wrong
listening
ways.
to it a little bit right now. Keep talking.
Okay. It's cliche in all the wrong ways. It sounds like the most generic pop song of all time, but yet it won the best song of 2020 or 2019, whatever the hell they mark it up as. It's a disgrace. Some
Wait.
popular things don't deserve to be popular.
I'm hearing the chorus of it right now. This is not that good.
Yeah. It won Song of the Year.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Okay, I think music is the one thing I can actually agree with you on here, because there's a lot of popular music that I really don't like, but that might just be personal preference. I mean,
If you like Rain on Me, then you could die.
Oh.
that's another Socratic stamp right there.
Jeez.
James is like, we all need to be happy and love each movie. And I'm like, you can be
Yes.
destroyed if you like Rain on Me.
Get-
I stand by
get
that.
wrecked.
I like what's it? Cinema Sins. I like Cinema Wins on YouTube.
I love Cinema Wins.
His philosophy about it is like every movie is someone's favorite movie,
Mhm.
and he's just trying to figure out why. Like, what possibly could there be in here that makes it someone's favorite? And I think that's the mentality we should all have with everything, whether it's popular or not, whether
Mhm.
it deserves popularity or not. And that's the end of my manifesto on popular hate. It's like pick me people, you know? Oh, I hate Rain on Me. Pick me.
Don't e-
Pick me. Pick me. I'm special. I don't like popular things. I'm not like the crowd.
Well, that's
I'm
the-
built different.
Just everyone wants to be such an
Built different.
individual, man.
Exactly.
Gets on my nerves.
That's why America should die. Everyone should stop being individuals. Sorry, my mom just came by when I said America should die.
My Little Women viewing partner.
Yes. Do you want to explain? Have we explained that story on the podcast before?
Probably
yeah.
like 5 times.
Okay. Isn't this how? I mean, that's how stories always work. Though, is you have a good story, and then every time someone brings it up, you're like, "Oh, I don't think we ever told this one before. I think we got to tell it again."
I don't think we've ever told this one before. So I went to see Little Women, and I saw it with Charlie's mom at the end of the day.
You
I
went on a
want to
date
make
with
that.
my mom.
I want to make that like our main Socratic. Every like podcast or anything popular has something that everyone knows it for, right? I'm just
Mhm.
The
putting-
inside joke.
I'm putting all my money into that being the one that works, and we'll make it work. We'll just keep hammering it.
Into you going on a date with my mom to see Little Women.
It was just the perfect storm, man. What can I say?
It was just coffee.
Don't say
It
that to
didn't
my
mean
face.
anything.
Do you guys want to talk about themes?
Sure.
I think that's what we do on this show, right?
I mean,
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
suppose. Yeah.
It's in our bio. We could talk about.
Is
some
it
themes.
really in our bio? Oh, we've been lying to everyone this entire time.
I think it's
We
just
can
something
talk
about
about themes.
the deep and sometimes ridiculous themes of movie or something like that. But we talk
Okay.
about themes here on this show.
I probably wrote that, and I am a liar and deceiver, so it makes sense. But
I
sure.
think-
I mean, what themes are there to discuss off the top of your head?
To me, the theme of this movie is about finding purpose, being special, being welcome. I like the speciality thing. I think this movie, for as simple of a plot as it is, the whole theme of Candace kind of feeling like she's not special at all, and like she goes to this alien world where she thinks she finally may be special after all, but that was all a facade too, and any human could have done, and it just happened to be Candace. I really like it. I don't know why. I think it played really well because here's the thing. Here's the thing about Phineas and Ferb. And here's the thing about a lot of like media aimed towards children's, I don't know why I said that, especially. Their main characters usually don't have a whole lot of flaws or growing to do, right?
Hmm.
Phineas and Ferb don't have a character flaw or a lesson they're learning in the episodes. Think of any episode of Phineas and Ferb. It's literally, they're all the same thing, right? Phineas
Hmm.
and Ferb make an invention. Our B plot is Perry the Platypus doing something with Doofenshmirtz. And then the invention goes away right in time when mom comes home. That's it. There's no moral lesson learned anywhere. Like Phineas and Ferb aren't characters that grow. They break the main rule because they don't have to grow. They just have to be entertaining, right? So what this movie did was really smart. It looked at its characters and it said, all right, we have these two main characters who have no character development potentiality at all. These are static characters. So let's pivot towards the side character who actually does have a flaw and does have a motivation. And let's make the story about her. And that is, I think, really smart that they made that decision instead of trying to change the characters of Phineas and Ferb to make them fit a movie structure. They just went with the cool side character who's already perfect for the role. I don't know. I just was really, really into what they did with Candace in this movie and how they didn't try to force Phineas and Ferb to do anything that's uncharacteristic to make it work. It was very,
Hmm.
very smart, very well played. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. I'm with you, man. When they showed Candace what the gift was, and she was looking around and seeing all the memories from the shows, I mean, that was so touching. And it's touching on
Yes.
two different levels. Number one, it's touching to Candace, obviously, because she's like, oh, I do mean a lot to my brothers. Like, I actually do have fun with them,
Mhm.
and they do love me, and I do love them. That was really powerful to me.
Yeah.
The second thing is, and the reason why I think it's actually super genius, is that it's not just Candace who's experiencing all these memories again. It's you. It's you
Mhm.
as the audience who's looking back and seeing all the stuff that they've done, and you feel like you're a part of their crew. You feel like, yeah, I've been on all these adventures with them.
I am
I
Baljeet.
I am Baljeet, another
I don't know if
Socratic
we can
Cinema
say
stamp.
that.
But it just felt so good to know that the creators care about the journey that every viewer has been on, and they found a way to subtly incorporate it with another character who had a very good reason for experiencing all this stuff. They didn't force it in. They weren't like, now be nostalgic. They
Right.
just naturally
Yeah.
pushed it into the story.
And that's the thing about static characters that I find really interesting because that's like a screenwriting concept is the idea of like 90% of characters are dynamic, they learn something. But Phineas and Ferb are static characters who learn nothing. And that seems kind of lame at first, right? Like, ugh, who cares if they learn nothing? But you kind of see in that moment, especially the power of a static character. It's not that they don't change over the story. It's that through their good naturedness, they change the people around them. So,
Yes.
like, Phineas and Ferb don't necessarily learn any lessons, but the power of the story comes from seeing how their unrelenting goodness can kind of change everybody around them. And I love characters like that. And you see it most in kids shows like this or yeah, that sort of thing where you kind of just have this really good-natured kid at heart and you see throughout the story how they improve the lives of everyone around them even if they don't really learn anything themselves. um, it's just a nice spin. It's a nice change from always having like kind of the same character development cycle going on where they have a problem, they go through the hero's journey, they learn something. Is like, oh, we can throw in little twists on it. I really like static characters, and Phineas and Ferb are perfect examples of those. And they really get to shine in this movie. I don't know. I really like that. It's very interesting.
I loved it. I thought that both Phineas, like, and the super interesting thing about Phineas and Ferb is that when I was watching it, I was like, I don't really remember either them being my favorite character.
No, no,
Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
it's always the side characters, but they feel like you're just like they're your old friend or they're like your brother. They're always there and they're always having fun. The
Mhm.
craziest trippy thing to me was how Ferb talked. I was like, he did not talk this much in the
He
show
talked
at
a
all.
lot in this movie. And Casey and I found out recently a very troubling fun fact about Ferb. Casey,
Oh
I
yeah.
can't bear to speak of it.
They they changed the voice actor Ferb.
No, what?
Yeah.
Yes. So in this movie, it is, hold on, I'm pulling up the cast list again. It is David Arrigo Jr. And but it's usually, dang it, why we were trying to remember his name too.
The guy from all right, I don't
Maze Runner.
yeah, the guy from Maze Runner. I'm googling it right now.
Newt?
Stalling for time. Yeah, the guy who played Newt, Thomas Brody Sangster.
Yes.
That
Oh
that guy.
yeah.
He's normally the voice, but they replaced him with this guy, David Arrigo. I don't know why they would do that. Maybe Thomas was tired of it, I guess. I don't know who would get
Maybe.
His
why would
voice might be too deep now.
why would you say no to working on Phineas and Ferb? I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't
Well,
know either.
it's just strange how they get uh whatever his name is to play Phineas, and he's like an actual grown adult, like 30 or 40. And then
Vincent
they just have
Martella?
the kid. Yeah, dude, I love Vincent. He's so fun. And he does
Yeah.
a really good job with Phineas, but it's so weird how they just get like a random teen who's British to play for like you're not gonna go for a
Right.
seasoned voice actor, not gonna go for a guy that's old too. No, just some dude. Okay.
I mean, the David did work on Milo Murphy's Law, so maybe
Mm.
that's the connection. Like instead of trying to get um dang it, Newt. I'm just gonna call him Newt. Instead of trying to get Newt back, it probably was just the easier thing to just hit up David and be like, "Can you voice Ferb?"
Exactly.
Maybe they
Like,
did.
I mean, the guy's probably like, listen, I know that other guy, Newt, he works for 30 an hour. I'll do it for 10. Okay.
Right?
Slip it. I need the money. I'm not going to tell you for what. I need it. And I need you to pay it to me now. All right. It's 3 lines. Just let me record them and we're good.
You know what my favorite part of the cast list is?
What?
It's the person whose credit is literally
Oh my
sound
god.
made when someone explodes from the waist up. That's literally her credit. And
Shout out Tiffany Haddish.
didn't we read something about her payment, Casey? Like they didn't
Oh
actually
yeah.
they didn't like actually pay her because all she did was say Candace or something. We could be
Yeah.
spreading completely false rumors, but these are just fun, maybe true fun facts that we found, and I kind of hope it's true. was-
It says that she didn't want to be actually paid, like she wanted to be paid in a Perry the Platypus shirt since Disney didn't sell them anymore. So, um, Swampy and Pavenmeyer also they like hand painted her one and like gave it to
Aw.
her
That's
as her
great.
payment. Don't know if that's true or not, IMDb, but
I hope
that's
it
our
is.
fun
It's
our
wholesome.
fun fact. It is. It's so wholesome, and it's very Phineas and Ferb. Like,
Yeah.
yes, someone
I
be
re-
like, all I
really
want.
want to I really want to meet Pavenmeyer and Swampy. They just seem like such nice guys.
Honestly,
You know, they seem like they really care, and they're just great. I really like them. I want them to be my friends.
I follow
Yes.
both of them, or I follow Swampy on Instagram, and I follow Pavenmeyer on TikTok. Pavenmeyer, I think, is better at social media. Unfortunately, Swampy, I'm sorry, but
That's
Dang.
tough.
Swampy
Yeah.
is the better name, though.
That's true. Imagine having your last name be Swampy.
It's Jeff Swampy Marsh. His
Yeah.
last name's Marsh.
They just call him
Dang.
Swampy.
Swampy Marsh.
It's really funny though because the name Pavenmeyer sounds like the way Doofenshmirtz looks.
Yes.
I
Wait.
can't explain it.
We can even go further with swamp things. Pavenmeyer, Meyer. A Meyer is a swamp as well. It's all
Quagmire.
maybe that's how they became friends.
Giggity giggity.
Giggity, giggity.
Giggity, giggity. Here, here. Dilly, dilly.
Dilly
Quagmire is
dilly.
an actual word, by the way. It's my second favorite word.
What's your first favorite word?
Flabbergasted.
I knew it.
Of course it is. Jeez.
What? What's your favorite word?
I don't know. Happy.
You don't have a favorite word? Happy? God, that's so lame. That's so cringe.
That's an L, James.
Peaceful. Tranquil. Melancholic.
Oh wait, no, I know what your favorite word is. Basic.
Okay. Dude. Okay.
Dang.
You got a favorite
Damn.
word, Casey? Do you have
Shot.
a favorite word?
Poo, 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 poo.
Shot? That's your
No,
favorite
like
word?
shot. No, no. I don't drink.
Not yet.
Uh-huh.
Not
'Cause
yet.
we're all teenagers.
Well, underage. Huh. My favorite word. Huh.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, this is like unexpected.
Any word. I wasn't expecting this question.
Soliloquy is good too.
A soliloquy
Oh, you
is
want to know?
fun.
You want to know a word I really like?
What?
Humor.
Boob.
You know what does humor really well? Specifically, fourth wall breaking humor.
Mm-hmm.
Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas
Are
and
you-
Ferb,
are you
Candace
trying
Against the Universe.
Trying to loop it back. You can
I-
always count on James for the segue.
I'm Segway Samuel. You know what joke I
Alright.
really liked? You know what joke I really liked? There was a couple. This movie's really funny, guys. Like, I don't think we've hammered home that this movie's actually funny. There are two jokes that I really like, and the first one is when they're talking about like building a spaceship or something like that, or building the portal, and Baljeet's like, "Oh my gosh, this will at least take a montage." And then they don't do a montage. They do they do like a transition. And then he goes, "Oh, I guess it was fast enough to fit in a crossfade." Art was hilarious. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That was super funny.
I also like the when Doofenshmirtz makes the joke about how something is astrologically impossible, and then Baljeet's like astronomically, and he's like, "No, look at my horoscope. You will have like bad luck making a portal or something." I've made that astronomical mistake so many times. Someone was like trying to get to know me and like make conversation. They were like, "Oh, are you into astronomy?" And I was like, well, I mean, I know I'm a Libra, but that's kind of about it. I'm not super into that sort of thing." And I made a complete fool of myself in front
James
of this
has told me
person.
this story 3 times at this point. He's
Just-
very proud.
I'm not proud. I'm really sad.
It's a funny well, okay, listen. Just take the astronomy class we have at our school, and then you will never make the mistake again because you realize that astrology is a fake science, but it's really fun.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
What
hot
it is,
take.
astrology is a fake science.
The Pisces gonna be real mad about this one.
Bro, there's like 13 star signs too. Like no one's ever like I'm Eubraxis or whatever the last one's named.
Oh
Like,
yeah, there's like a 13th one that no one cares about, and that's right.
Damn.
people just forget about it because it doesn't do the month thing.
Wait, hold on. It is Ophiuchus.
Yeah, Eubraxis, Ophiuchus, same thing.
Ubraxis. That's the 14th one.
Ooh,
Charlie's a
Brexit.
NASA scientist, by the way.
I am in, yeah, because they study astrology at NASA.
I mean, the stars. I don't know. I did it
The
again.
same thing. Astronomy is the
God
stars.
did it again.
You made the mistake.
Alright,
Dude, we need to take James to a class, guys. He's
Oh my god, he's
He needs it.
struggling.
Maybe I'm
This
dyslexic.
is after a day. James, no.
I just want to say I've had a really, really long day, guys. Right? We had school. I went to work. Come home, podcast. I'm tired. All right, cut me a
Yes.
little bit of slack.
You know what my favorite joke was?
What was your
What?
favorite joke, Kasey?
It was the dragon amusement park people. I
Oh, he's
love
the
those
best.
throwbacks.
What did he
He's-
say? It's
He's like, my support group thinks you're holding me back, and I died. I
I'm
was
here.
like,
I'm
yes,
here for the emancipation of the theme park guy. Liberate
yes.
him
I know she's holding him back, dude.
from
His wife's a
pursuing-
hater. Like,
She is.
has been a hater for 7 consecutive years, the entire show running.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Phineas and Ferb has a lot of kind of running bits like that. I think are really good. I mean, there's the theme park one, Ducky Momo.
The only bit that I care about is the fact that Phineas simply refuses to date Isabella. Like,
Didn't they resolve
Until that flash forward.
until
the
that
flash
weird
forward
the
episode.
weird flash forward episode? That doesn't.
Which
That
one?
was the
You've
the
never seen the flash forward
no,
episode?
I probably have. I just haven't watched the
It's like-
show. In
It's like the
years.
finale is like a flash forward, and it ends with like a weird tall Phineas and weird tall Isabella. Like,
Oh yeah,
smooching- like
They're
smooching.
like college age. And
And
I
Ferb
don't
dates
even
Vanessa
know.
for some reason.
so weird, dude.
True,
No,
which
Ferb
is-
dating Vanessa is so good. I'm tired of people saying that it's not. Vanessa is hot. Ferb is hot. I'm totally for it.
That's the biggest power
Period.
couple in Phineas and Ferb.
I just
yeah.
want to.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I just, as much as I like Stan Ferb and Vanessa, like I just the age difference in my head. Like I don't even know the age difference. I just know that it's there.
I think we're gonna wrap up pretty soon here.
Oh
but
my
I wanna,
god.
I want to point out before we go. Oh, yes, Charlie.
On the back of his action figure, it states that that Ferb is in fact 9 years old.
Oh
Oh
god.
my
No,
god.
no. Okay. Never
He may
mind.
be
Told you
10
not to
though. He
do
may
it.
be 10.
You know what? Who cares about whatever else I was
Told you
gonna say?
not to
We have
do
to
it.
end right now. Oh gosh. Yeah.
We've been Socratic Cinema.
Oh god, I can
Yeah.
hear the FBI at the door.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and listening. It is a podcast after all. Thank you so much for making it through another episode of Socratic Cinema. However you're tuning in today, whether it be on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or whatever. And I have a mission for you, dear viewer, dear listener. I have a mission. If you're a YouTube listener, listen up, Special Agent. I want you to comment, and I want you to give the video a thumbs up, and I want you to subscribe if you haven't, and I want you to click the bell, and then I want you to tell 5 friends to do it. It's like an MLM. And then, all right, debrief.
What?
I'm giving them missions. Then, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I want you to give us a 5-star review and write about how great we are and how we're the best movie podcast on the app, and they should give us sponsorships. That's it. And I want you to listen, and I want you to tell your friends. Next, Spotify, follow us, tell your friends. Rinse and repeat for any platform you're on. Spread the word. It's the best way to go about it. But in all seriousness, if you enjoyed the episode, you maybe consider subscribing or dropping a thumbs up if you want. I'm not going to pressure you. You can check out all of our other podcasts available on our channels. You can check out our new series, Socratic Side Quests, hosted by everyone's favorite Charlie Heatherly, where
Thank you.
we talk about video game stuff. Our debut episode was a podcast about The Last of Us 2, and we also released a fun little video looking at some of the corny, goofy, kind of just bad reviews that
I
are
don't know
out
if they
there
were
for that
corny and goofy.
game. They were goofy. They were goofy.
Listen, guys, we just need you to like the videos to bring the like to dislike ratio up. We are fighting a war over here.
Yeah,
on
there
The
are a
Last
lot
of
of
Us
people
2.
angry about The Last of Us.
Listen, just like it. You don't even need to watch it. All right, just make
Like
it
it and
seem
move
like more
along.
people like Last of Us 2 than we think. Just come on, you can do it.
Help us out. Anyways, thank you again for listening. Seriously, though, if you enjoyed it, please tell one of your friends. Maybe they'll enjoy it too, huh? And you'd just be bringing a little more kindness into the world. Oh, follow us on our social media too. We have an Instagram at Socratic_cinema. We have a Twitter at Cinema Socratic. And we have a Twitch at Socratic Cinema that we're finally going to start using the Twitch because I finally upgraded my PC a little bit. And we're really looking into starting to stream real soon. Maybe we'll play, who knows what we'll play? Maybe we'll play some Fall Guys. Maybe we'll play some Among Us. Maybe we'll play some chess. I really don't know. But anyways, if that sounds interesting to you, give us a follow on Twitch. I think I have done enough pitching on this segment here. Frankly, my voice is getting a little tired. So with that, I think we're going to bid you adieu for today. Thanks again for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode on Phineas and Ferb, Candace Against the Universe. And with that being said, we have been your friendly neighborhood Socratic Cinemas. Adios.